All right. My microphone is picking up. It's a bit of a late stream today. Very late stream, actually. I was supposed to go live last night, but my mom was away for an 8-day work trip. I think it was kind of work, but then she decided to go see some friends as well in another state. She was gone for 8 days, so I got home from work. She was there, and we ended up yapping for about an hour and a half. Um, because that's how things tend to go with me and my family. 10 minutes tends to turn into an hour and a half with us. Um, but we are live now. We're gonna react to Hasan Piker responding to Ethan Klein. This should be interesting. I don't know why he responded on like a Monday, because he should know that I have work on Mondays and every day except for Saturday and Sunday. He should have responded on like a Saturday, honestly, because I could have done a whole stream about it and I wouldn't have had to do it right after work. Because the reason why this stream is so late is because it's right after work. I got off work at like 11 p.m. So let's see. Where is my little scene for Hasan? Here it is. So it's a 37-minute long video. Should be interesting. And I'm a petty little bitch, so I made the executive decision to simply copy the link to the video and download it with my magic YouTube video downloader, because I don't want to give him my view. I don't want to friggin' give him my YouTube premium money. um, so for those who don't know, this video is called Debate Me Ethan Klein, which I think would be a very bad thing for both parties. So for Ethan, I think it would be bad because he said what he had to say. He went into pretty good detail saying what he had to say. And I'd be surprised if there was more that he had to say. And for Hasan, it would be even more terrible because it would probably, like, it would destroy his public image even further. Because Hasan, if you don't know, is a dog shit debater. Like, absolute dog shit at debating. I just this morning, and actually last night, I started it last night, I finished it this morning. I watched his debate with Willie Mack from like a year or 2 years ago, however long it was. I think it was like a year ago, pretty much. And Willie Mack is not a debater. He is not in politics, but he like destroyed Hasan. And Hasan is a terrible, terrible debater. Um, like he doesn't let anyone finish. He'll pick out a point in what someone's saying, and then he'll change the topic based on that. Like he's, I Willie was talking to him about how he said that this was back when Russia was invading Ukraine and they were like setting up field hospitals on the border between Russia and Ukraine, and Hasan was like, Russia's not going to invade Ukraine. And then when they invaded Ukraine, Hasan kind of, he, I guess, apologized for that, but then he said they're not going to bomb Kiev, and then they bombed Kiev. He's like, it's never going to happen. They wouldn't do that, and then they did it because of course they did. It's a freaking invasion. Why wouldn't you attack a big city there? Um, so so Willie was talking to him about that, and he was like, "Oh, so what you want Russia to bomb this city?" So like he takes things completely out of context, and it's kind of funny listening to him debate, but it's also kind of sad because it's so clear that he's such a bad faith debater. It's just insane, honestly. Um, so I think his public image is going to be like, if it's not thoroughly demolished now, it's going to be even more demolished if they debate. So I don't think either of them should do it. I think it would, Well, I think for Ethan it wouldn't really destroy him. I think it would just be pointless for him. But for Hasan, I think for his public image, for what little of it he has left, he shouldn't do it. And hopefully this stream isn't going to be 6.5 freaking hours long, like the last one, because this one is 40 minutes long and the other one was an hour and 40 minutes. You're horrible at Fortnite? Well, guess what? I'm not playing the game right now. Also, why on earth is your chat not popping up? Oh, God. Is it? Hold on. Is it because? Hold up. I think it's because I didn't update the chat. Oopsie daisy. Can we mute the tab here and then pop out chat? Because we got to get the link to the YouTube chat. Not only am I bad at Fortnite, I'm also bad at YouTube streaming. There we go. Okay. Let's get into this. Hopefully I can make this a fairly short stream because it's 11:30 at night right now and I have work tomorrow, maybe. Probably.
Ethan Klein, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am available. I can talk.
I was wondering why my hard work to be a bully wasn't being recognized. Yeah, well, it's being recognized now. You are thoroughly bullying me in chat. And I think I could probably resize chat, to be honest. Let's do that to make it a little bigger. Didn't show your first message. Hey, that's not on YouTube's fault. That's on my fault. Leave the billion-dollar corporation alone. And now chat messages can actually be seen on the screen. I think last time the chat box was a little too small. Heading to bed? All right. Have fun sleeping while I don't. At least I got my ramen noodles with me. Sleep well. Whoa! Okay.
Ethan Klein, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am available. I can talk to you about any number of different political disagreements that we have, except this time, I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to treat you with kitty gloves. I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would to an actual political content creator who was.
So, I'll send you a screenshot of my first message too. Oh, okay. Bad at Fortnite wasn't the first one. All right, yeah, send that my way. But yeah, him talking to Ethan Klein like he would a political content creator is just calling him a genocidal freak with no backing. I'm assuming that's what he means. I'm assuming he means he's gonna call Ethan Klein a genocide supporter or a genocide denier because he thinks that the people of Israel deserve to not be wiped off the face of the planet. I'm assuming that's what he means.
Expressing your viewpoint about Israel, I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would talk to them. So if you think that I'm afraid of you, I think you and I both know that that's not the case.
You should be afraid.
Before I keep watching, I need to know, are you a communist? No, of course not. I love capitalism.
He... What? Hey, Hasan, before I keep watching, I need to know, are you a communist? Was that real? Was that actually real? Let's see.
That I'm afraid of you. I think you and I both know that that's not the case.
Oh, that chat box is insanely small. It's probably earlier in the chat history. Let me look at my phone. Hold on. I gotta see the screenshot that Charmsy sent me. It's probably something really mean that'll like make me want to quit YouTube. Oh, they called me gay. That's not exactly correct. Misinformation. Content nuke Charmsy incoming. Falsely calling me gay. How rude.
So before I keep watching, I need to know, are you a communist? No, of course not. I love capitalism. I'm a liberal of the Democratic Party variety. Everybody knows I am a liberal who almost exclusively defends the Democratic Party. I mean, if you didn't know that, you must be an absolute dumb, right? You know, you'd have to be a real moron or maybe disingenuously.
Okay, hold on. I I think he did make that chat message up. And just so we know here, I might let these clips go on a bit longer. One, because I'm tired, and two, because Hasan doesn't believe in copyright, and therefore he won't send me a copyright strike if I do leave his clips going on for long. And like I said, I want this stream to be a somewhat shorter one than the 6.5 hour one that I did about Ethan. So yeah, I'll if you see Hasan's clips running for longer, that's why. It's not me just trying to like be in support of him.
Lie and be like, I was groomed as a 40-year-old adult into believing that someone is actually a liberal when they hid that from me. They hid their true perspective from me. They groomed me into believing that they were a liberal.
But that actually happened. Like that legit happened. And it was acknowledged not just by Ethan, but by that guy on the podcast who said get them while they're young, who who said like Hasan was doing a good job at being like that first step into the left wing pipeline. So he's and I don't think Ethan said he was groomed by Hasan. I think he was just saying that Hasan was pretending to be a bit more normal than he actually was in order to get into Ethan's good graces and get with his mainstream audience who isn't as radical and then radicalize them. I mean, I guess technically, if you want to use like the blanket definition of grooming, I guess technically you'd be right. But like I don't know. Still feels weird for me to call that grooming, even by like the most blanket charitable definition of grooming. It just feels like you were being dishonest to him in order to radicalize his audience, which is what the right wing pipeline does. And you believe in that, but apparently you're denying the left wing pipeline to some extent at least, or at least your participation in it.
You have to be a real bird-brained moron, or maybe
Bird
a
brained
disingenuous
moron.
grifter. Maybe a disingenuous grifter who recognizes that the person that they were talking to never really sheltered their views whatsoever. Guys, I have a statue of Lenin behind me. Not right now.
You also have the Zin Tower, which, may I add, is based. I don't think that came across um, particularly well in the previous stream, but I think the Zin Tower is based. And if you guys didn't see the podcast that I was on the other day, I have a conspiracy theory that the Zin Tower is actually the world's most elaborate 9/11 joke because Hasan famously supported Al Qaeda in their actions on September 11th, 2001. And if you see, the Zins are stacked in two stacks, and they fall down symbolically, I guess, as you take the Zins out of the pouch, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. So I think that is his version of Frogan's 9/11 cake. I do not YouTube. I'm saying this. I am not a big fan of 9/11. Shocker. As an American, I thought it was pretty bad. It's okay, YouTube, please don't get the wrong idea. YouTube autofilters, whatever. I might have to say that a lot. I might have to say asterisk joke a lot in this video like I did last time. But yeah, no, you did like there were clips in Ethan's video of Hasan saying that America should have like I think it was like a Finland type economy where to my knowledge that's like it's still mainly like a capitalist thing but with some socialist elements. But no. Hasan, you are a complete authoritarian communist, and you didn't make that clear from the jump. You said you were a social democrat, which is, from my understanding, someone who is left of like a capitalist in terms of like economic views, but still to the right of like communism. Like like social democrats think like, like that Finland thing, like the economy should be a capitalist thing but with some socialist elements, at least from my understanding. Again, it's been god knows how many years since I've last watched a political video on YouTube. I think it's been like 2.5 years since my last like viewing of a political YouTuber, so I'm a little rusty on this. But if someone in the comments wants to correct me, please feel free, because I do want to get brushed up on this stuff, seeing as how this drama might be, um, it might be quite prevalent in the coming weeks, maybe a month or so.
Obviously, I'm in Japan. I used to think you were cool, consistent, and friendly. I looked past the house because I figured it makes sense. Then I found out you're commie. Now I realize you're undeniably a baller, based, and live true to your word. You also have good eyebrows.
Wait, so hold on. I guess in a way, he is being true. Well, he's not being true to his word, but he's being true to his position and his ideals. Um, he's not a communist in the sense that he believes in the core principles of communism. He is a communist in the sense that he is a spewer of communist rhetoric, but not someone who actually believes it. You know what I mean? Like he gets to spout all this communist stuff, and then people buy into it, and then he gets to reap the rewards of his fans giving him money, and Twitch giving him money through subs and ads and all that. And he gets to buy this expensive car and this expensive house, and not redistribute it evenly among the people. If he was really a communist, he'd be giving that money back to his fan base. But he's not doing it, at least not well, because to my knowledge, he has not given back any money to his community. I think he's donated to charities, but that's about it. He also doesn't pay his editors or his I think he doesn't pay his editors, but I know he's gone on record saying he hasn't paid his Twitch mods, which isn't a very communist thing to. Well, I don't know. I guess if you're speaking on like the principles of like communism, like what it says in the books, I guess it's not very communist, but it's very business owner of him. It's quite capitalist of him, actually. Not paying your employees is a very capitalist thing, because capitalism is about maximizing money while minimizing costs, and employment is one of those costs. So he's being kind of a capitalist in his not paying his mods, which I'm going to say this right now. I don't really care if you pay your mods, but if you're a hypocrite, then you're a hypocrite. That's what I care about. I don't care that he doesn't pay his mods. I care that he's a hypocrite.
Thank you. Why is the Tim Pool beanie on stream? I'm wearing this so that people will think that I am Tim Pool.
He's wearing it because he supports Russia just like Tim Pool does. By the way, I've got some ramen noodles with me. So if you hear like that crinkling or like chewing, that's it. The ASMR stream. The ramen noodle 11:30 p.m. ASMR stream. But yeah, he's wearing the Tim Pool beanie because he kind of is taking the mask off now. He's announcing to the world that he is actually in support of Russia. And if you guys didn't know, Tim Pool, he's like this political guy as well, and he was fairly recently, I want to say a few months ago, found out to have been paid by some Russian entity, whether it's the government or some kind of government owned agency, to spout Russian propaganda on its channel. So that's why I'm making that comparison to Tim Pool, because Hasan Piker also is in support of Russia. Don't forget it. Guys, Russia's not going to invade Ukraine. Guys, they're not going to bomb Kiev. They'd never do that. Guess what? They did. They did. And it was bad.
And therefore apolitical, and therefore not radical, therefore not playing a formative role in what is actually ruining the United States of America and perhaps the entire planet, which is the rising tide of fascist mobilization, but instead the much scarier thing, which is communism. Everybody knows that
Communism is. Wait, hold on. I'm going to let him finish this point.
it's a significantly scarier thing. So, yeah,
Okay, I think fascism and communism are both very scary in their own right. Because, so first off, communism isn't really, like, real in the real sense that, like, it can't exist in reality. It's an ideology made up in, like, the idealized vision of the world of like philosophers and writers and Twitch streamers. Because to have true communism, there's the crinkling. To have true communism, from what I remember, you need to have everyone sharing everything. There is no private ownership. There is no I guess that's really the main point of communism. There's no ownership of anything. Everything is collectively owned. Like, no one owns their own business. Uh everyone owns everyone's business. Everyone has everyone's money. Everyone has everyone's car. That is, from what I remember, true communism, and that just can't exist in reality. Because, or at least it can't exist on a national scale. If you have a small group of people, then yes, you can have, like, a communist society of, like, 20 people, but that can't sustain itself because it's too small. Like, true communism simply can't exist in the real world, like I said, because humans at the end of the day, at their core, are to some extent greedy. That's why you saw the breadlines in the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, Joseph Stalin was never starving. Joseph Stalin, I'd assume, was quite well fed at any given point in his career as the head of the Soviet Union. And why is that? Well, it's because he took all the money for himself, and there was no money to give to the people. But they were told this is for the good of the country. But that's not really what communism is in the truest sense of the word. That's just. And the people didn't own the businesses either in Soviet Russia. The government did. So that's not communist either. That's just. It, from how I'm saying it, it sounds kind of more like authoritarian capitalism, if that makes any sense. Well, I mean, not really. It's just straight up, like, it's totalitarianism. That's what it was. That's what it really was. Like, the government owned everything. That's what a totalitarian government is. That's what's scary about communism, and what's scary about fascism is that, certain groups of people are seen as better than other groups of people, and that leads to a lot of hatred, and it leads to a lot of division, and it leads to a lot of violence. And fascism also hinges on this idea that the nation is, like, the greatest thing ever, and it needs to constantly prove itself, and thus needs endless war. Like, war is the greatest industry of fascism. And if you don't have war, the fascist government, or the fascist state can't continue. And that's kind of the bad thing about fascism, is that it basically depends entirely on war. And I'm not a fan of war. I'm also not a fan of like violence in general or like hatred. You know, I think that's a pretty bad thing. So yeah, I think communism and fascism are both scary in their own ways, and I think we're taking away from the conversation to say that one is worse than the other, because you could say both are bad. Like you can't like you don't have to have one or the other. You can have neither. Because in reality, like I described with communism, they both require a totalitarian government who controls industry, who controls the media, who controls the military, who controls every aspect of life. They both do that, so they're both bad because they both hinge on the government controlling everything.
I want people to think I'm Tim Pool instead, which is the furthest you can be from communism, because that's significantly scarier than Donald Trump. I want everybody to understand, make no mistake, I'm a serious person who definitely understands things. Very smart, very intelligent, definitely not a hack,
So what's the
failed,
point of
dumb
this?
comedian, in air quotes, still doing 2014 memes on the
You're a dumbass failed comedian too. You should have stuck with your comedy. I haven't watched the full June the King video. By the way, watch the June the King video about Hasan Piker. Up to the point that I'm at is pretty good. But he used to make like shorts for the Young Turks for for like Instagram or something, or like YouTube. And it was funny. It was like comedy stuff. And I found myself laughing at this stuff and I was like, this is this really Hasan Piker? Because like the jokes that he was making was they were pretty edgy. You'd have to go into the video to find one of them. But I remember laughing at them. And I was like, nothing he says now could possibly make me laugh. The funniest joke he can think of isn't 1/100th as funny as the worst joke I can think of. Skibbity Toilet is about a million times funnier than anything Hasan Piker could say in 2025. And I mean, Skibbity Toilet's pretty funny, but you know what I mean. So it's like you're kind of like, granted he didn't try to be a comedian, but you were better off then than what you're doing now, than doing, this whole thing. Please just go back to making jokes.
timeline. Well, I'm not on the timeline anymore. I'm actually too scared to be on the timeline, so I just fucking constantly whine about it from behind my Instagram stories, even though I'm a 50-year-old dude with like 3 children, and I spend most of my time online just crying most of it. Anyway, if I was one of those things, then obviously that would be really scary. I'd be really scared of the rising tide of socialism and communism in the United States of America. Ooh, terror. Big terror is what I would say. So that's why I'm looking like Tim Pool today, who surprisingly and completely unrelated to what I was saying. Oh my God, it's 5 a.m. out here, dude. I'm literally oblivious. I'm probably not even making sense right now. What did Tim Pool say recently?
I was gonna say, why is he acting like this? Why is he acting so like nonchalant? Like it's midnight for me, but but what excuse do you have? But I guess it makes sense if it's 5 in the morning. So I'm not gonna judge him for that because I totally get what it's like. But granted, it's 5 o'clock in the morning for him, but he also doesn't have a job. Um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna put that out there. Hasan Piker does not have a job that isn't Twitch. I just got home from my 8 hour shift as a janitor. I've been moving around for 8 hours straight. The most this dude probably moves in a day is probably from his seat to his bathroom when he says I gotta pee, and then he leaves the the video playing for his chat. So I can still kind of criticize him for that.
Oh, that's interesting. He said, come to the right side. Join the good side. Ethan, he said. Perhaps what I said was completely unrelated. Perhaps it was completely unrelated, or perhaps if you're the type of person who thinks that like politics can only be consumed from the lens of slop tuber drama cultivated by people who have no
Wait, hold on,
political
hold on, hold on,
understanding,
hold
no
on,
political
hold on. Wait, wait, wait. I was eating my noodles. We gotta rewind.
right side. Join the good side, Ethan, he said.
Okay, so Ethan apologizes for platforming Hassan Piker. This did happen. Tim Pool, join the good side, Ethan. Um, I don't know. It, here's the thing. Ethan didn't really. I'm not a big like. I'm not a big knower of the Tim Pool lore. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen anything relevant that was Tim Pool related that he said. It was probably back in 2021 that I last saw like someone reacting to him. Um, but to my knowledge, I don't think Ethan said anything that Tim Pool would agree with. I think Tim Pool would probably disagree with a lot of what Ethan said because Ethan is still, as he has admitted himself, still pretty left wing, just not as radical as Hassan. He's a bit more of a normal person. And I think Tim sees that Ethan is to the right of Hassan and thinks, oh, I can get him. And I don't think Ethan is going to join Tim Pool's podcast. I think that would be really stupid if he did that.
Perhaps what I said was completely unrelated. Perhaps it was completely unrelated, or perhaps if you're the type of person who thinks that like politics can only be consumed from the lens of slop tuber drama cultivated by people who have no political understanding, no
That's
political
me.
reading whatsoever, no interest, no ideological leanings whatsoever, and are just like dumb who are stupid enough to regurgitate Reddit posts that have no research backing them whatsoever, oftentimes coming from a sex pest
Says the guy who literally doesn't do any research.
very own community.
Sex pest. Says the guy who I'm pretty sure came from a sex pest. I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same sex pest. That being known revenge porn spreader Destiny. Well, actually, revenge porn. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but known known non-consensual porn spreader Destiny. We'll say that because he shared explicit content of people in real life with other people without the permission of the person who he made the video with. Not good. But I think we're talking about the same person, which is kind of rich from you because I think you came from his community. So did Vosh, which I don't know if that speaks to you and Vosh more or to Destiny more.
Then you are a deeply and pathetically unserious person, and therefore you probably should go and, I don't know, watch the sunset or something. They're going to clip this and misrepresent the tiredness and depressed in the content Chernobyl disaster. Yeah, well, good luck to them. It's 5 a.m. out here. Yeah.
Fuck, I should have called this content Chernobyl. God damn it. I called it content Fallout. All right. I'll have to see if the next video that someone makes can be categorized as content Chernobyl because that's a really good name. Oh my god. Why why does Hasan have a picture of a plane on his stream? This isn't good. How airplanes fly. It's all woke. Lift, more like left, am I right? It is kind of funny that woke makes the planes fly. It's our new energy source.
I personally think that everyone deserves human rights. Controversial opinion. I personally think everyone deserves dignity.
Oh,
Everyone deserves human rights. Everyone deserves health care. I know.
Everyone deserves dignity and human rights, says the guy who supports terrorist groups who literally say death to the Jews and would have supported the in from what he would call them re-education camps in Central and Eastern Europe. Yeah, I want everyone to have dignity and human rights, says the guy who supports literal genocidal terrorist organizations. I'm not making that up like Hasan does when he calls a random chatter genocidal. The leader of, I think it was Hezbollah, literally said, the worst kind of person is a Jewish person, and we got to get rid of him. It's you're not making a very good argument for yourself, Hasan.
Sometimes, okay, listen. Sometimes you really like a apartheid state. Sometimes you really feel some type of way about an apartheid state, and in defense of said apartheid state, you crash out extensively, so much so that you lose a significant percentage of your own audience because they're all like, what the
Hasan, you are in favor of an apartheid state. What are you fucking talking about? Isn't he the one who said that he's in favor of a one-party state with Palestine taking over? Isn't he the one who said that Israel should have dismantled their entire government after October 7th and just let Hamas run amok in Israel? That sounds like an apartheid state to me. If a country of Jewish people, if the government of a country of Jewish people lets an anti-Semitic terrorist organization come into their borders and do as they please, that sounds like an apartheid state. It sounds like that's what Hamas wants. And it sounds like that's what Hasan wants. I think he wants an apartheid state where, the Jews are the second class citizens. I think that's what he wants.
are you saying, dude? There are children being mutilated every day with American tax dollars for 15 months, 16 months. And at the end of that extended crash out, as you've become mentally unwell, you put together the video of all time. People will be like, oh, dude, what do you mean? You can have political disagreements. You can have political disagreements with your friends. It's fine. It's like, it's crazy. Political disagreements aside, like an extended year-long slow burn crash out. Spectacular. Ta-Nehisi Coates was one of the biggest confirmations for me that you are right. Yeah, I mean, but I have Ta-Nehisi Coates and Bernie Sanders, AOC, and then but Ethan has caffeine.
I was talking with my uncle a few months ago. This is sort of related to the video, but sort of not. You'll see why. But I was talking to my uncle a few months ago at dinner because he came to visit, and I met I we were talking about something with politics. I think we were probably talking about the Palestine thing, and I was talking about how Hasan is like, I'm worried about the left because if the left has people like Hasan, who is currently like the biggest leftist online, like, go mainstream, then the left could go in a similar direction that the right went with Donald Trump. And he said, well, that guy, he's just online. He's not gonna he's not gonna do anything for like mainstream audiences. But like, as we've seen here, he's spoken with AOC, he's spoken with Bernie Sanders, he's went on the BBC multiple times to speak with Piers Morgan. Like, this guy isn't like an underground thing. He's no Tom Swanson. He is getting into the mainstream. Some might say he's already gotten there. I'm saying he is getting there. Um, and I think it's worrying for the left. Like, I'm not on the left. I wouldn't consider myself to be on the left, but but I do care about civil politics in this country, and I think Hasan Piker poses a very real threat to civil politics in this country. I think almost as much of a threat as Donald Trump did in 2016. If I'm being completely honest with you, this guy's absolutely unhinged, and he'll just say whatever he wants with no backing. He'll just say, "Trust me, bro."
No. Just watch the video and take some accountability. Don't be a pirate software dude. Dude.
What the hell is wrong with this dude? Do you not know how to say the word pirate? I guess he's not based enough to know what a pirate is. Pirates are sick as hell. Don't be a pirate software. I don't know if this is... I guess it's kind of a similar situation, only in the sense that he's not going to take accountability. But this is in no way a pirate software like type situation. The pirate software stuff was such a freaking nothing burger. Let's be honest here. The guy ran away from a raid in World of Warcraft and his teammates died. This is Hasan Piker openly supporting terrorist organizations who want to kill the Jews. This is not the same thing.
It's an hour and 40-minute video. Okay, can I just say something? This is genuinely, this might come across a little ableist, but you literally have an intellectual disability if you think that, like, I am fearful of watching an hour and 40-minute video.
You were fearful of watching Willie Max, like, how long was that video? I just watched it the other day in preparation for this. Where is it? Willie Mac Hasan. Where is it? Is this it? Alright, it looks like a 52-minute video. You couldn't watch Willie Mac's 52-minute video either. Like, I don't get... Well, here's the thing. He is scared to watch it. Because if he wasn't scared to watch it, he'd watch it. He would just watch it and be able to prove it. Or prove that it's wrong by watching it. But the reason why he doesn't do it is because he's scared. He's a pussy. And he knows he's in the wrong. He knows that he's spreading all this hate. And he doesn't want to expose his audience to that truth. He wants to keep as many of them as possible in his control. In his, like, his version of reality. Gotta adjust myself in my seat. But yeah, he is definitely scared to watch the video. Like, it's... You guys saw with me, if one of the VOD viewers is watching this, at least, I had a 6.5-hour freaking stream about it. Dude, if I was as big as Hasan Piker, why wouldn't I watch this video? Dude, the amount of money I would have gotten from a 6.5-hour stream watching one video, that would have been insane. There is no reason for him not to watch it. It just comes off as extremely bad faith to not watch videos criticizing you and then responding to them as if you've watched them when you clearly didn't.
Made by a dude who literally thought Roe v. Wade was the gay one.
Roe versus what? Is that the gay one?
No, that's
Like,
Roe
when
versus Wade.
every single
The gay one. That is pretty bad. I will admit. Even though there are a lot of Supreme Court cases that have affected the civil rights of Americans over the course of, you know, the country's history, I think not knowing Roe v. Wade is pretty bad because it's the most talked about one. Like, Roe v. Wade is mentioned by name in the context of it being a case about abortion. So I think that's pretty bad. But again, having that one clip isn't really enough because Ethan made an hour and 45-minute spectacle of showing evidence for his claims that you're a crazy person and you're not going to watch it because look at this one clip.
Child or someone with an actual child brain, a person who literally was a Yang ganger, okay? Someone who was in support of Yang Gang, who genuinely does not know anything about politics. Like, what am I supposed to do? Watch every crash out? You think, like,
What do you mean? Wasn't Andrew Yang like somewhat popular with Democrats in 2020 when he was running? Or maybe I'm remembering that wrong because a buddy of mine in high school wouldn't shut the hell up about Andrew Yang. But I know like his big thing was universal basic income. I feel like Democrats would like that. I feel like you would like that, Hasan. I feel like a lot of people would like that. Um yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything, and not knowing a lot about politics isn't like a reason to not talk to someone. If anything, it should be a reason for you to talk to him because if he's so stupid and brain dead when it comes to politics, it should be a slam dunk for you to to um to debate him or to watch his video. You should be able to pause every like 10 seconds and say, "Nope, this is wrong. Here's my source. Pull it up on screen." But you're not going to do it because you're scared because you know you're wrong and you know that you're an absolutely insane person.
every single time some slop tuber makes a video, this is actually incredibly important points. The only thing you're demonstrating is your own stupidity. It's an hour and 40 minutes of a sex pests, cults, communities.
Oh no. Oh no. I think Ethan, was it Ethan or no, I think it was Nick Diorio. Yeah, it was Nick Diorio who said Hasan and his community are absolutely going to blame Destiny for this video when it absolutely isn't the case. Ethan like unapologetically criticized Destiny for his actions, rightfully so, because Destiny is a freaking disgusting, horrible person for what he did. So it's good that Ethan criticized him for that. Irrefutable proof that Ethan Klein is being fed links and clips about Hasan Piker directly from Destiny's Discord community. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it. I don't know, man. Is it bad to receive links from the community if those links can be proven? Like, if those links can be proven true and what they're saying can be proven true, is it necessarily bad to receive links from them? Like, you're not you're not saying he was like buddies with Destiny and he was like supporting him behind the scenes. You're just saying that some of the stuff he got on you was from Destiny's community. And I don't really see a problem with that. Because what Destiny did doesn't have to do with the video about you. Right? Am I stupid for saying that? I don't think I am. I think I think Destiny being a disgusting probably would be sex offender because I think there is grounds to put him on the registry. I think him being that doesn't really have anything to do with you being yourself an insane person who supports terrorism and killing Jews.
Compiled garbage that he took a week off to literally shave off the serial numbers off of, basically, just so that there wasn't that stink associated with it. Because unfortunately for him, his favorite content creator was outed as a sex pest for consensually and unconsensually recording people while they're having sex and then distributing it to a bunch of other 19-year-old Discord e-girl kittens that he wanted to And then all of those videos were leaked a month ago, including videos of him having sex with his ex-wife, who I know for a fact she has mentioned did not give him consent to release those videos to random people. And the idea that this is a deflection is moronic, because I have mentioned every single stupid point brought up a million times over. But yeah, anyway, have fun though.
Have you... Can you show us you bringing up those points, though? Like, I don't know if he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to. Because knowing Hasan, he's not going to do it, because he doesn't do his... He just lies. This is like Lily Orchard tier shit. Did I mention her last stream? I hope I didn't. I really hope I didn't. I hope I don't have Lily on the brain again. She was an earworm for me. She was a brain parasite for me for like 8 months. I don't want her to live rent free in my head again, but this is Lily Orchard behavior. Expecting people to know your entire like channel history and like everything that you've said, like because you're like, oh, I've said this before, but I'm not gonna show you when, and I'm not gonna tell you when, I'm not gonna direct you to the video. You should just know, which is so stupid.
I assume that you guys are going to try and bait me into losing my shit all day. But yeah, there are already 100 responses to every accusation. I know. There's like, you could just go if you truly are invested in the truth. And I'm sure there are some people.
That's from 3 months ago, though. Like, I'm sure that whatever video Ethan made about you back then, or whatever, like, Instagram story or whatever, wasn't as detailed as this. This is the most detailed takedown of you I've ever seen. And I saw, like, all the Willie Mac videos. He did... I might mention him a few more times in this stream, but he did a very good job at taking down Hasan, in my opinion. I think you guys should go watch those.
There are others who are just going to come in here and be like, well, I'm going to keep it real, man. You're just like avoiding accountability. Yeah, dude, I am pro-Palestine. That's it. I'm pro-Palestine, okay? If that's news to you, you are the dumbest baby on the planet.
You're not just pro-Palestine. I'm pro-Palestine too. But you can be pro-Palestine without being pro-Hamas. You can be in favor of the independence of the Palestinian people without also supporting the terrorists who behead children and rape women and want to kill the Jews like the Nazis did. You know, the Nazis, like the really bad guys that like Elon Musk saluted at the inauguration, like those guys. Hamas is like those guys. Hasan, you should probably not, you probably shouldn't like Hamas, but, you know, he's gonna like them because they're terrorists, and Islamic terrorists don't like the West, and of course the West meaning the United States of America, because nothing else is in the West, you guys. But Hasan is just insanely anti-America for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he just is. So no matter what he'll do, or no matter what he supports, he's gonna support it if it's against America, which Hamas probably is, if I were to take a guess.
All right, I am pro-Palestine. I am anti-genocide. I am
Again, anti-genocide. Also says he doesn't have an issue with Hezbollah, which their leader has openly supported a genocide of the Jewish people. Just saying.
One who is a leftist, okay? I'm a leftist. I do not think capitalism is the final evolution of mankind. I think we can evolve beyond it. There are literally Guantanamo Bay internment prison facilities.
How are you saying socialism is an evolution of capitalism if we have over 100 years now of evidence that socialism just does not work. Like that's literally what like the Soviet Union was. And that's what China was. That's what North Korea is. That doesn't work. It literally I'm sorry, it doesn't. It's not the final evolution of humanity. And also, why are you talking about the Guantanamo Bay for the immigrants thing? Like that's bad. You know, I think if Donald Trump wants to get rid of the immigrants, just deport them. Don't imprison them in Guantanamo Bay. But you know, what does this have to do with you being a socialist? Socialism is an economic thing. It's not a social thing, as much as the name might suggest.
Being set up right now, and if your number one thing is your favorite fucking 50-year-old content creator with 3 children and his endeavors for the past 6 months, you are a deeply unserious.
All right, so he's basically trying to say, all right, all right. I hate this argument from these stupid freaking politically brain rotten people on the internet. And even in real life too, these people can seep into the real world, and that's when it gets really insufferable. But basically the argument is there are way more important things happening in the world than your life, and you need to care about it. Like yeah, there are. Like the 30,000 immigrant freaking like camps in Guantanamo Bay, that's really bad. The stuff that was going on with Israel and Palestine was really bad because I believe they um set up a ceasefire agreement, which is very good. I am against war. War is bad, and I think a ceasefire is good, and hostages being released is good. Because I think holding people hostage is bad too. Um but like, yeah, those things are bad. But what am I gonna do about it? You know? Like, what am I gonna do as an individual about these immigrants who are being sent to Guantanamo Bay? What could I have done as an individual about Israel? Nothing. It's not up to me to solve the world's problems, and it's not even up to you, Hasan, to solve the world's problems. It's up to the politicians to solve the world's problems. They're the ones who are interacting with all this stuff. Like, I just go to work every day and clean the freaking classrooms. Like, I mean, there's more to my life than that, but that's kind of my daily thing. I go to work. I have my own job. I've got my own friends, my own family, my own problems. And if you worry about the world's problems too much, it's going to drive you nuts because there's always something bad going on in the world. This stuff with Israel and Palestine has been going on for like 70 plus years. And it just now stopped. Like, do you think for 70 plus years, everyone in the world has been talking about, oh my God, this Israel thing it's so bad. Let me drop everything in my life and stop it. No, of course not. Because people have got to worry about their own lives first. And I think I think it's easy to forget when you're online and like in politics, I guess. Um, I think it's easy for you to forget that you've got your own life to worry about. And that's why I don't like this argument that, like, oh, if your life is so meaningless that you're worried about H3H3's video about me, then maybe you gotta, like, read more or whatever. I just think it's a really stupid take. Because everyone has stuff that's important to them. And you shouldn't try to put somebody down just because they see certain things as important that you don't, or that you see certain things that are important that they don't, you know? Everyone's got their own priorities. And if your priority is going on the internet and talking about Israel, then go on the internet and talk about Israel. Like, I don't really care. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But what's bad is when you go and tell other people how to feel when more often than not they don't even know about what you're talking about. You may as well be speaking Mandarin to them, you know? That's what I don't like about this. He's trying to guilt trip people into being on his side because he's like, I'm fighting the good fight and you're not.
Person. The only, like, this mother literally only talks about the genocide now when it's to say there's a genocide going on cynically, and his entire fucking baby brained moronic fan base also reiterate that point over and over again while they think they're making a brilliant point because they misunderstood my initial assessment of the matter, which is that when I'm watching children get mutilated every goddamn day, I think it's a pathetically selfish way to approach that conversation from the personal feelings of a rich 100 millionaire sitting in his Bel Air mansion talking about his own god feelings. That's it. You can call it crash out.
Wait, hold on. I think I need to rewind that so I can make sure I heard that right.
Of the matter, which is that when I'm watching children get mutilated every goddamn day, I think it's a pathetically selfish way to approach that conversation from the personal feelings of a rich 100 millionaire sitting in his Bel Air mansion talking about his own god feelings. That's it.
Are you not a rich millionaire living in his mansion talking about his personal feelings? Is that not you, Hasan? Do you not own a $2 million house in Los Angeles? Do you not own a sports car? Do you not own designer clothing? Do you not live the rich person's lifestyle? The complete antithesis to the tenets of socialism, the belief system that you preach so much to your fans, that you want your fans to live by but not you. Because I don't think it's a bare necessity budget to wear designer clothing and buy a $2 million house and buy a sports car. I think you could have gone with like a Prius and like a maybe somewhat big house in like the suburbs or something like that, you know? And maybe get your clothes from like Target or Walmart or something, like the freaking rest of us do. Some socialist you are. Again, it's rich that he said earlier that he stands by what he says when he literally is a millionaire sitting in his mansion, well, sitting in some hotel in frickin' Japan right now, talking about his personal feelings about global politics. And he's saying that's what Ethan is doing, and that's bad. But when he does it, it's good.
You can call it crash out all day, every day. I'm a goddamn adult. I'm 33 years old. I'm not going to, cover every moron in their own personal feelings.
He's talking about this video and about Ethan. Like, I'm sorry to compare these guys to myself, but I'm just so great. But he's comparing Ethan to me. Or he's saying Ethan is like someone like me. He's saying that Ethan is some no-name Andy and that this content nuke is some like 3-view video on YouTube from a channel that was just made like 8 days ago. That's not what it is. This is one of the most established creators, one of the most well-recognized, well-known creators on the platform, making a gigantic hit piece about you, the biggest political streamer on the entire platform. And you're saying you're not going to cover every little criticism. Like, I wouldn't expect him to cover either of my streams because I am literally, at the time of this stream, a 1 sub Andy. I have exactly 1 subscriber, and I don't think I have any views on my videos except for the 1 live view that I got on my first live stream on the content nuke. I do not expect Hasan Piker to even know who I am for the next 5 years. But H3H3 Productions, Ethan Klein is a bit different than old Tom Swanson here, all right? He's a little different. Maybe you should address this criticism.
And how hurt they've been. And it's taken a year, okay, for me to actually be open about, for me to finally get to this point. I still wish Ethan well, okay? I do. But God, how selfish, how delusional, how stupid to just like think that anyone outside of your marginal fucking cult that you have whittled away over and over again is going to look at the situation and go, yeah, you know what, dude, you are actually right. You've totally convinced me that baby murder, unlimited baby murder, is all right now, actually.
That's rich coming from the guy who, again, supports the terrorist organization who cuts the heads off of children and rapes little girls and kidnaps them. That's real rich coming from you.
That like people who call that sort of behavior out are all seemingly radical Islamist extremist terrorists who I will assume are being funded by Qatar or Iran or Saudi Arabia or whatever other Arab nation, because I don't have any understanding of geopolitics anyway. And
Says the guy who couldn't point out Yemen on a map.
they're all the same to me. Go spend time with your
Says the guy who couldn't point out Yemen on a map. Dude, these jokes just write themselves. Every word that comes out of this dude's mouth is a friggin' lie. Oh my god. He's talking as if Ethan showed no evidence of his stupidity and his lies and his friggin' crazy behavior in his video. Maybe if he watched the video, he'd have a better response. I don't know. Crazy idea, I know. But maybe if you're going to respond to a video that was made about you, maybe you should watch it. I don't know. Just a personal thought.
kids, man. Holy shit. You look crazy. You look like you're literally losing your mind. And virtually everyone can see it. Do you not have any friends? Listen to your producers. I'm sure they have pulled you aside on the background and been like, hey, Ethan, can you stop doing this? It's very uncomfortable every time the camera pans to them. There's a reason for it, because everyone around you thinks you're crazy. God, it took this long for me to finally be like, dude, please.
No, he does need to be reined in sometimes, but I think that's just because he can get a little out of hand sometimes. Um, but it's not because he's crazy. It's just that I think he gets a little too into it when he's doing his show, and I think that sometimes he needs to be, like I said, reined in a little. And I think it's good that he has people like that, Hasan. Maybe if you had people like that, people wouldn't think you're such a fucking lunatic. I don't know.
You're never going to get better unless you take accountability. Jesus Christ, go to therapy or something. That must have felt cathartic. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't feel cathartic at all, because then as the classic like cry bully behavior gets reiterated over and over again, they will go, see, he cares about this. He cares about this so much. And it's like, it doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't. You're not new to this game. It's just deeply embarrassing, and everyone can see it, okay? You went from writing a Keemstar drama nuke to being hyped up by Keemstar. Like, how stupid and malleable are you as a goddamn adult?
I don't know if that speaks to Ethan as much as it speaks to Keemstar. I think Keemstar doesn't really care who I don't think Keemstar really cares who he supports as much as it's, or as long as it's like good content. And also the Keemstar content nuke was 4 years ago. It was literally 4 years ago. Do you think that maybe they they may have like mended their relationship in the last 4 years? I don't know. Crazy take, I know, but maybe people have the capacity to change and mend their broken relationships. I know it's crazy for Hasan or a fan of Hasan to know that, because, obviously people are
They're the way they are when you call them out on YouTube, and they will always be that way. If you call someone bad on YouTube, they'll always be that way. But maybe people change in 4 years. I certainly have. I've changed a freaking lot in 4 years. I went from a Hasan I went from a Hasan fan to a Hasan hater in the last 4 years. That's what I did. Well, one of the things, or one of the ways that I've improved.
That you can be manipulated by other slop tubers. It's kind of shocking. Brother, you keep agreeing with chatters who say you're giving drama clippers a reaction and saying you're right and then continuing to cover it. Yeah, I know. Because I'm a human, man. I'm a human being, okay?
You're a human being who can't help but cover, or who can't help but talk about this stuff because people are talking about you. And as much as you may say you hate all of this drama, you love the attention. Every YouTuber does. Let's be honest. Every freaking YouTuber loves the attention. They love being covered by drama channels deep down. Because at the end of the day, it's putting their name out there. It's giving them their name and their image to more people. It's giving them more exposure. So, of course, YouTubers deep down like drama content about them.
Human being. There's only so much I can take. What are we doing here? This guy literally had a disagreement.
There's only so much I can take. Well, how about you don't look at your chat like how you don't look at chat when they're supporting terrorism?
With me over Israel, ended the podcast. I was so gracious to him, far more gracious than he God deserves. Literally ends the podcast because he can't cut it. Like he's like, I don't want to talk about politics anymore because people are hurting my feelings when I talk about Israel because it kind of comes across like I'm defending Israel.
No, he stopped the podcast because people were calling him a fucking genocide defender. For nothing. People were calling him a genocide defender because he doesn't want the country of Israel to be fucking glassed. Like, is it so crazy to think that maybe this Jewish person who is a dual citizen of Israel, who is married to an Israeli woman, maybe, just maybe, cares a little about Israel? Shocker, I know. Maybe since he has a personal connection with the country, he is able to take a bit more of a nuanced look at it, and he isn't as willing as you are to say genocide, 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 kill them all. Because that's what you're doing. Make no mistake, Hasan would probably like it if Israel was just completely demolished. I wouldn't put it past him, honestly.
And then everybody goes, oh, you're defending Israel. It's like his whole shtick for the past year has been saying liberal Zionist talking points and then getting mad at everyone when they go, are you a Zionist? And he's like, whoa, this is anti-Semitism.
They were calling him a genocide defender and or genocide denier, depending on the person. And I don't know, again, maybe the Jewish person would be a bit offended at someone calling them a genocide denier. I wonder why. I really do wonder why a Jewish person would not really like being called a genocide denier. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it.
It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. What kind of moronic attitude is this? Just don't talk about politics. Just go back to talking about like gooning or Justin Baldoni or whatever.
Yo, I want to talk about gooning.
Online. You're clearly
Goonicide
not
incoming.
Intellectually equipped enough, and you got deluded by a sex cult.
Not from me, by the way. Goonicide is not incoming from me. Goonicide actually already happened. I might have to talk about that on a stream. I don't know. That's a stream for another day, though. The Goonicide stream. That's a topic for another stream. But what did he say? Something about sex cult?
Justin Baldoni or whatever new thing is happening online. You're clearly not intellectually equipped enough, and you got deluded by a sex cult. Like Destiny was able to brainwash you over the course of a year. I'm sorry. You got a child's brain. Go enjoy childish things. The fuck is wrong with you? Why do you have to like literally do politics? You're fan base hates it. You're clearly all the people in your vicinity hate it, and you're still like, nah, I'm the number one guy. I'm the number one politics guy. Okay, dude, there's plenty of dumb. Go ahead, have a right wing, do your little right wing tilt, I guess. And then
It's absolutely insane how he right, what do you mean right wing tilt, dude? I don't know. I guess when you're Hasan Piker, or if you're a fan of Hasan Piker, anything to the right of Hasan Piker seems like a neo-Nazi, I guess. Because they think that he's normal, and anything to the right of him is like extreme right-winger. And like I don't know a whole ton about Ethan's politics, but seeing as he was left enough to be friends with Hasan Piker for a while, I think I'd be fair in saying that I'm to the right of Ethan, so I wonder what Hasan would call me. Hasan, actually, I might post this clip on Twitter. Hey Hasan, I'm to the right of Ethan Klein. What do you call me? I'll just post the clip on Twitter and tag him.
and maybe you can find admiration again, but it's probably not going to happen in the liberal sphere that you're trying to carve out for yourself. I'm sorry, liberals, and I disagree with a lot of liberals, okay? But many liberals are still infinitely more intelligent than the fucking average dumbass right-winger. They get manipulated by right-wingers a lot, which is why I get very mad. But it's much harder for you to cultivate a fan base.
How about maybe they don't get manipulated by right-wingers? Maybe they just have some opinions in common with right-wingers. I get that, like, Hasan doesn't he's so far left, he's so radical that there's no one that isn't part of his specific ideology who he can have a common opinion with, but maybe you can have a common opinion with someone who is not of like the same political freaking Hogwarts house as you. I don't know, just a guess. Maybe I could have some ideas or opinions that are in line with leftism, maybe some that are in line with liberals, maybe some that are in line with conservatives. Which is true. I've got opinions and beliefs that are in line with all three. Doesn't make me a hypocrite, just makes me me. Just makes me a guy with opinions on stuff. And that's just where those opinions fall. It's not bad to have opinions that can be considered left-leaning and other opinions that would be right-leaning. That's not bad. But since Hasan is again so far left and so radical that he can't comprehend or that he doesn't have anyone else to compare himself to, he doesn't understand the concept of agreeing with someone who is broadly ideologically different than you.
With your unfortunate lack of knowledge over
Is that
politics
black
in that
coffee?
sphere, okay?
No.
Become a right-winger then. Look at Tim Pool.
Dude, that's
I've been
gross.
so nice, dude. And you know what the most annoying
I hope that's
part
not black
is? For
coffee.
a year, I was like, oh man, I don't want to hear about this stuff. I'm sure Ethan means well, blah blah blah, and everyone was in my ear constantly yelling and being like, no, he did this, he did that. And I was like, who cares? He's just like, he's just doing whatever. He's just doing whatever. He's just doing whatever. And everyone was like, no, dude, listen, he made fun of Aaron Bushnell, killing himself. Like,
Who? Aaron Bushnell. Who is that? Oh, he's the guy who burned himself. The guy who burned himself in protest of Israel. Right? From Gaza to Texas. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Like, I hesitate to say it was a dumb decision because I feel like to an extent I would be disrespecting somebody who had taken his own life. And I feel like that would be kind of wrong to say it was a dumb decision. But another part of me does think that burning yourself alive is kind of a dumb decision, like in protest of this. Like there are ways you can protest in which you will be able to protest in the future. Like that's like your last act of protest. If you kill yourself in protest of something, that's it. You can't do it anymore. You can no longer contribute. But if you do it in a non-self-destructive way, you can obviously continue um you can continue to protest in the future. So I feel like it wasn't the right decision for him to do. I don't know. That's just my opinion though.
You don't understand.
I'm not going to make
He's
fun of him
doing
though.
all this propaganda, whatever. And in that entire time frame, I was like so charitable, and I was just like, "Hey, I've heard the things that he said one time in 2021 about how he's like pro-Palestinian, like that's important, whatever." And he did this to himself. Like that's what's so crazy about this narcissism. Like these dumb will be like, Hasan, you don't have any accountability for what? You want me to say I'm sorry for being like pro-terrorism or whatever kind of Islamophobic nonsense that you've
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, we do want you to apologize for being pro-terrorism. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that because you have openly supported multiple terrorist groups. So I think you need to apologize for being pro-terrorism, and I think you need to distance yourself from those terrorist groups. And I think you need to denounce them at every possible opportunity because it's bad. Call me crazy, but Hamas killing children and kidnapping them and doing unspeakable things to these children is bad, in my opinion, of course. Clearly not everyone shares the same opinion as me, unfortunately.
cultivated over the course of the past 15 months from a sex cults community. God, oh, we have a bingo card for Hasan's reactions. Like I saw that too, and it's like you just have no interest in anything.
Hold on. Hasan reactions to the nuke bingo card. Okay, let's see what we've had. Never watches the actual video. Okay, Ethan is Islamophobic. Just said that. Refusing to take accountability of his insane radicalized audience. I don't think he's done that yet. Make excuses for his anti-Semitic orbiters has done that. Exclusively watches out of context clips. I don't think he did that. Destiny did this. Yup. Bro, who even cares? I think he's done that. Tries to act above all this. Yup. Complains that everything is out of context. Did he say that? I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say no. Ethan was secretly on the right all along. Yup. Blames all the harassment on Ethan and his own actions like it's totally deserved. Yes. Tries to act unbothered. Yup. Free. There's genocide. Yup. Takes everything he reads in chat as fact and responds to it. Responds to that instead of actual criticism. I don't think so. He has responded to actual criticism in chat. There's a genocide going on. The second one, yup. His leftist arc was a grift. Did he say that? I don't think he said that. Watches completely biased / hater video on it. Didn't do that. You're 40 years old. Go spend some time with your children. He said that. I can't believe I was so wrong about Ethan. I think he just said that. Ethan's a Zionist. Yeah. Ethan's crashing out again. Yup. He needs to take a break. Did he say he needs to take a break? I think he did. I'm so disappointed. Lies and makes up stuff about the situation. Lies and makes stuff up. Shoot. I don't think the last two happened. But let's see. I never watched the actual video. Destiny did this. Genocide. We would need one more here to make it a bingo. But we did get a lot of this bingo board not even halfway through the video.
Anything real, okay? You have no interest in anything real. You will fall victim to the whims of right-wing politics, okay? If Ethan fully flipped the script and became like a right-winger, then you would also do that because you are a stupid person. Anyway, I hope, and I mean this with genuine sincerity, in all sincerity, I hope this was like, I hope he got it out of his system, you know?
Is there like a speed control? There is. Can I go on 1.5? He's talking slow.
I hope he got it out of his system. And instead of like clip chimping everything that I'm saying
There we
right
go.
now and then posting it on his stupid, silly little drama show, if Ethan wants to talk to me, he can talk to me. Okay, he doesn't have to constantly cry as a 50-year-old adult with 3 children from behind an Instagram story. You can talk to me in person, big dog. You got my phone number. We can have a conversation on your stream. We can have a conversation on my stream. Last time I had the baby gloves on and you cried like a after doing Teddy Fresh ads in the midst of our genocide coverage. That's right, and I'm not.
All right, so I don't know. This dude is such a fucking moron. That's the thing. He's doing the exact same thing he did with Willie Mack. He's telling Ethan to get on his show or to talk to him like over the phone or in person or whatever. And he's not going to actually watch the video. But the conversation's going to be about the video. So Ethan has to expect Hasan to have watched the video. But obviously he will not have watched the video. So he's going to be like, dude, I didn't watch the video. Just say what you want to tell me. Say what you want to tell me now, instead of expecting me to watch the video that you made about me. You know, the one that everyone's talking about. The one that no one's going to shut the hell up about for the next month. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that one. It's so stupid.
Talking about the Leftovers episode where he actually cried, that was a beautiful moment. And I was actually very wrong for thinking that actually meant something. It turned out
he was crying because he was a father reacting to children being killed. I don't know. Maybe he has a bit of empathy, something that Hasan doesn't have.
It didn't mean for you at all. Because selfishly, you spent the next year constantly ripping into, suspiciously, a lot of, not myself, but other people of color. I'm not calling myself a person of color. I know it's going to get clipped out of context here as well. And then you're going to be like, meh, 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 whatever. No, just noticing that you have just been going after a lot of people of color, Arabs, Muslims in general, just constantly talking about how scary they are. You know, why? Why are they so scary?
The reason why he's talking about these Muslims is not because they're Muslim, not because they're people of color. It's because they're terrorists who call for the death of the Jewish people, you know, the group that he's a part of. So maybe he has a bit of an interest in making sure that the truth about these terrorist groups gets out there, and to make sure that people don't fall for propaganda for these terrorist groups. You know, the propaganda that you show on stream to thousands and thousands of people and pretend it's a music video saying that these people want to start a war. So that's why he's talking about them. Not because they're Muslims or because they're people of color, but because they are harmful to people. Because they call for genocides. They salute Hitler. That's why he's calling them out.
I don't know, because maybe you're an Islamophobic moron who retweets or basically tweets out Ben Shapiro quotes about Hamas. Maybe that's the reason why people think you're super.
I don't know. Maybe Hamas is a fucking terrorist organization. You know what? If I turn this into a video, I'm gonna have a counter to in the little like top right hand corner of the screen. Amount of times I have clarified that Hamas is a terrorist organization that kills babies and kidnaps and sexually assaults little girls and women. Put that counter up on the top right hand corner if I make this into a video. Because it needs to be known.
Pro-Israel, okay? Maybe that's why. No accountability, okay? No accountability whatsoever. Constantly pointing the finger at other people. It can't be me.
It's insane that these people think pro-Israel means anti-Palestine. Like I said in the last stream about this, in the content nuke stream, and I'm pretty sure I've said it in this stream too, I'm pro-Israel as well. However, I am not pro-Israel in the sense that Israel needs to take over Palestine and needs to be the one state. I am pro-Israel in the sense that I think it's a good thing to have for this group of people who have been persecuted basically as long as the religion has existed. Maybe it's good for them to have a safe place to stay. And I think Israel has a right to exist, not at the expense of Palestine, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think any nation should exist at the expense of another. I think everyone, if they so please, has the right to self-governance and to, like, self-determination and all that. So, yes, I'm pro-Israel, but I'm also pro-Palestine, because you can be those two things. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
It can't be the broad reception of my worldview. It cannot be the way that people understand where I'm coming from, okay? The way people have heard the same talking points over and over again from people who are genuinely deeply pro-Israel. Maybe that was the reason why people were saying that. No, it must be because of anti-Semitism. And it's like, it's not as though anti-Semitism isn't increasing. It is, okay? And it's something that I understand. It's something that many of...
Yeah, it's something you understand because it's something that you spread. It's something that you are in favor of, and something that you are participating in the propagation of. You understand that it's spreading because of you.
These people that Ethan has falsely smeared as anti-Semitic understand. So especially at a time when there's multiple like Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, or numerous other like actually anti-Semitic monsters out there.
Let's see. Hitler loving white supremacists, Nick Fuentes on Elon Musk salute. That was a straight up like Sea Heil, like loving Hitler energy. I thought he was gonna say bad form. Jake Shields, what did he do? After seeing what they do in Palestine, we know that Jews would have gang raped Anne Frank before killing her. Her gang rapist then would have become big reality stars in Israel. What are you... Can I have what this guy's smoking? I've only got my Zins at my desk. Maybe I need to borrow some from Hasan. These are what is it? These are the 3 milligrams. Hasan probably has the 6 ones. Yo, Hasan Piker, give me one of your Zins. I want one of your Zins. I can't find them in my town anymore. I freaking go to every convenience store. Not because, like, I'm an addict. This is literally the only pack of Zins that I have. The one that I have right here. It's the only one I've ever purchased. But, like, I can't find them, and I don't know why. I need Hasan to give me one of his Zins. He has way too many. Redistribute those Zins. Be a real communist, and give me your Zins.
Who are running rampant.
Give me your nicotine.
Anti-Zionist and expressly and openly not anti-Semitic is certainly a choice. Yeah, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. All right, Ethan? The assumption that I'm afraid of you is so idiotic, okay? Tell your gut. Be honest with your fan base, okay? I'll talk to you anytime, any place. I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. Like, these morons literally think I'm afraid of a dude who does not know anything about politics and basically just rehashed Willie Mack show and Destiny clips, dude. Like, these guys just literally go to Reddit. That's it. And
Willie Mack show, the guy who destroyed Hasan in a debate, by the way, because Hasan didn't even do the research for the debate because he's lazy and he's arrogant and thinks he knows everything. So he didn't watch the Willie Mack debate and he got destroyed.
They just repeat Reddit talking points over and over and over again. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I saw Roman also popped off. Because, dude, if you are even remotely interested in politics, you're going to look at this and go, what?
Also, incredible video to drop in the current political climate, fascist takeover happening in the U.S. and tons of other places. And he drops a 2-hour video on how the biggest threat to America is Hasan and communism, lol, LMFAO even. I fully expect Ethan Klein to become an anti-woke grifter within the next 5 years. I think these people are reading way too into it. I don't think the election has anything to do with, or I don't think Trump's victory has anything to do um with the content nuke. Seeing as the content nuke has a very high production quality, I think it was probably in production for a little while before the election. Just saying. And I don't know if he said the biggest threat to America was Hasan and communism. I think he has the potential to show a threat for sure. But I don't know if he's the biggest threat to America right now. I think the biggest threat to America right now is people not subscribing to my YouTube channel.
What the fuck are you saying? Incredible video that dropped in the current political climate. Fascist takeover happening in the U.S. and tons of other places. And he drops a 2-hour video on the biggest threat to America is Hasan and communism. Lol, let me out even. I fully expect Ethan Klein to become an anti-war grifter within the next 5 years. So H3H3's video on Hasan is dead ass just red scare and McCarthyism.
Red scare and McCarthyism. I actually haven't seen anything more pathetic in my life. Bro's trying to pander to the last remnants of his right-wing fan base by going after a lefty boogeyman streamer right after Trump went as well. Eddie's doing it all. People forget his controversial Israel takes. I'm assuming that's supposed to say takes because T and R are next to each other on the keyboard, and Rakes doesn't make any sense. I didn't really see it as McCarthyism. He didn't really talk about communism all that much either. He talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but it was mostly just... It was mostly the terrorism stuff he was talking about throughout the video. Not the communism stuff.
I actually haven't even seen anything more pathetic in my life. Bro's trying to pander the last remnants of his right-wing fan base by going after lefty boogeyman streamer right after Trump went as well, and he's doing it also that people forget his controversial Israel takes. Incredible. That's what's so crazy, by the way, which is that like there are a million different ways to try and hit me on like drama-related. Why the would you try to do politics, man? You're so stupid. How narcissistic of you. How
Maybe because you're the politics guy and you have a lot of really bad takes. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
unimaginably narcissistic of you to think that you can like write this brilliant, political work. Like stick to your lane, dude. What is wrong with you? You look like a clown to adults. Okay, maybe not the cultish fans that have stayed behind. You know.
A lot of people are messaging me saying, Roman, how can you side with Hasan when he has had terrible Ukraine takes? And I actually agree. I don't watch Hasan for his Ukraine takes. In fact, I don't watch him at all. But I do think he's a good force in today's world. You know what I mean? Like, once again, people are getting deported, Ethan, and you're dropping a 2-hour video on Hasan Piker saying that Hasan and communism is actually what's destroying America today, you know? Like, please. If we're choosing between Hasan Piker, who, once again, talks about real issues and is, like, in my opinion, once again, a good force in this world currently, from my point of view, from where I stand, you know what I mean? Who actually talks about real issues, minorities face and so on. Ethan Klein, though, he just talks about, like...
You know what? You want to know what's crazy about this? Like, these guys, and this is what's so frustrating to me about, like, Ethan, I can't believe is a part of this group now. But there are a lot of people online, like, what is his name? Like, Turkey Tom or something? Like, that's one of...
Yo, that's my dad. That's my dad, by the way. That's Thomas Swanson, the 18th. Base ass YouTuber. But what is he gonna say about Tom, actually?
Those guys, like all these dudes that have been,
Are you gonna list any
now after suckling on his teat for maybe the past 3 years? Willie Mack show, all these slop tubers, right?
I don't know. I don't think. Okay, so Tom was the I don't know Willie Mack's relation to Destiny, but at least in terms of Tom, I don't really know he was suckling on Destiny. I know he liked Destiny, but I wouldn't really say he was like, I don't know, glazing him, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. But since Hasan thinks that being around someone is suckling on the teat, and since that's literally what Frogan and Denims do, when the cameras go off, he thinks that that's how every political streamer's community goes, I guess. I just know that Tom liked Destiny, like he liked him as a creator, and he agreed with him with a lot of his takes. That's about it.
just names that I never wanted to learn. They have no interest in politics whatsoever. And to them, it's just another way to extend the algorithm.
Names he never wanted to learn. He's got to learn one more. He's going to learn my name soon enough. Trust me. He's going to fear my name.
Annoying about it. That's what's so goddamn
Yo,
annoying
yo,
about
yo,
this process is just like,
yo, Larson
so you
spotted.
can
Hold up, hold
extend
up, hold up, hold up. Where's he at? Where's he at? Yo, low tier god. Awesome.
the algorithmic boost that they can get.
Where's
That's
he
what's
at?
so
Oh, there he is. Daniel Larson. The greatest YouTuber on the planet. Greatest TikToker on the planet. Ava Tyson, greatest YouTuber on the planet. That's a joke. That's a joke, YouTube.
annoying about it. That's what's so goddamn annoying about this process is just like for them it's just all
Too
drama.
mad?
It's all drama.
Christian.
Ukraine drama. Palestine
Yo.
drama. What is this? I think Ethan just wants to defame you and for you to react by suing him. I'm not even gonna watch his video. And by the way, if I did, get great views overall. I'm not even gonna dignify it. And you can say it's because I'm scared. If you are literally the dumbest person in the United States of America, perhaps the entire planet, then yes, you can think that. I am stating it very clearly.
You are scared. Let's have him state it clearly.
Ethan Klein, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am available. I can talk to you about any number of different political disagreements that we have, except this time, I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to treat you with kitty gloves. I'm not going to talk to you like you're a special...
Okay, so this is the clip from the beginning. I can pause him here. No, you are scared. You haven't given any arguments as to why you are above this. It's literally a 2-hour video calling you out for all of your political takes. Or, well, for all of your takes involving Palestine. Like, as a video calling you out for literally supporting terrorism and terrorists who, up the counter, kill babies and kidnap and sexually assault people. Alright? There's no real... I don't know. There's no real defending yourself with that when that is literally what Hamas does.
boy who deserves my special attention and that you're so funny and so special. I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would to an actual political content creator. If there is a political commentator out there who was expressing your viewpoint about Israel, I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would talk to them. So if you think that I'm afraid of you, I think you and I both know that that's not the case. I think you and I both know that there's a reason why, despite the fact that you and I have very similar enemies, some of which you've turned into your friends, even after they got, unfortunately they got outed as sex pests, but I think you and I both know that I didn't run away from Twitter. I don't have to constantly go to subreddits and clip stuff from those subreddits to post on my Instagram page instead of hanging out with my friends and family. Don't be a idiot. I'm at this point.
How do you know he doesn't have a personal life outside of YouTube? Like, I don't know. This feels like projection to me. Like, he's saying Ethan doesn't spend time outside of YouTube, but it really does feel like Hasan doesn't spend time outside of YouTube. Because, like, it's all he talks about is just politics, and that just screams to me someone who does engage with the real world, someone who does have a job, who has friends and family and fulfillment in life. I don't know, that just sounds to me like projection from someone who wants to think he's better than this other guy.
Getting him won't change his mind. I don't give a fuck about changing his mind. I did. Okay? I tried changing his mind. Maybe this time I'll bring Sam Cedar, and you'll be the one saying, oh my God, Sam Cedar, what a nightmare, because, you've been running away from him. Yeah, I wonder why Ethan Klein won't talk to Sam Cedar. In private correspondence, I told you. I said, hey man, I know you don't respect me, because he's claimed that I wasn't, talking to him at all. So I said, hey, I don't think you respect me at all. But you respect Sam Cedar, you should talk to him. You should talk to him about this issue. He has a lot of lived experience. And he said that was anti-Semitic. Everything is anti-Semitic. Anyway.
Celebrity drama or whatever.
Are you gonna show Ethan not wanting to talk to Sam Cedar? No? Okay. I guess we'll just believe you, because your evidence is literally trust me, bro.
Oh, please. What it all comes down to is that I just don't believe that Ethan Klein, cares about any of these issues.
Yes, that's what's so fucking annoying about it. He doesn't. He does not. That is what's so unimaginably annoying about this entire process. He doesn't give a single shred of about any of these issues, and it is literally ego. It's not even like a
He doesn't give a single shred of a fuck about these issues. Whatever he just said. Look, man, it's 1 a.m. for me. Yet, Ethan is the one who's lived in Israel for 5 years. Ethan is the one who literally has family who lives there right now and whose wife is from there. Maybe, just maybe, he has a personal connection to the place where his wife is from and where his in-laws live and where he has lived for 5 years. I don't know. Maybe he's just got a little bit of a personal connection to the place, so maybe he cares about it. But clearly you don't. Because every time you cry about this thing, it's so obvious that you're faking it. It's almost embarrassing. I get secondhand embarrassment watching this guy cry about Palestine because it's so clear that he doesn't actually care and that he's just doing it for views.
Significant political disagreement, by the way. It's more so ego. That's what's so frustrating. And that's what really makes me mad about all of the people that hyper-focus on this. It's just ego. It is a man who feels scorn. It is a man who bravely took the step online and became a more progressive person. That is the journey here. A person who had some reactionary takes. A person who openly said the N-word a million times over and numerous other slurs, saying, you know what, this is the old me. This is not the real me, okay? I am going to become a better person. That is a person I will always admire, okay? It doesn't matter if his name is Ethan Klein. It doesn't matter who that person is. I will always admire someone who has the dignity and the courage to openly say, I was wrong for doing this stuff. This is not who I am. Just understand, iDubbbz being a great example of this, right?
No, dude. iDubbbz was a terrible example, dude. Dude, iDubbbz was a terrible example, man. I don't know if I want to get into the downfall of iDubbbz today. It's 1 a.m. I've been watching Hasan for a freaking almost 2 hours now. In the time that it took for me to do this stream, Hasan could have watched Ethan's video. But yeah, I just don't know, man. iDubbbz has fallen off significantly since like 2018-ish, like 2017 to 2019. He's fallen off greatly. His content is so much worse. I remember watching his content back in like 2020 because I think he stopped uploading for a while. And then I saw that he uploaded. I saw his video on my feed. I'm like, oh my god, iDubbbz. I haven't seen him in so long. Then I watched his video. It was about the anti-maskers. That's what it was about. Or was it about... Yeah, it was about anti-maskers. It was making fun of anti-maskers. And I was like, this video is such dog shit, dude. Like, I'm not an anti-masker. I think it is stupid. Like some of these people who were like anti-maskers back during like 2020. But I thought that video was just terrible, and I was like, I don't want to watch this guy again. If this is the kind of stuff this guy is making. And then I saw the videos, like I saw other videos about him, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not watching him again, because his content just isn't as good as it used to be. But yeah, iDubbbz was a terrible example to bring up of someone changing as a person.
But yeah, after you cultivated a fairly progressive online fan base, you turned around and you had some opinions that you demonstrated that were directly at odds with said progressive fan base. And instead of going, hey man, maybe I should...
No, it's not at odds with the progressive fan base. Again, talking about myself again, oh gee. But, you know, I'm my best, I am my own best reference point for this kind of stuff. I would consider myself quite progressive. You know, I think gay people should be allowed to get married. I think trans people should be allowed to transition. I know, quite the bold take to have in 2025, but kind of like genuinely bold take to have in 2025. You know, I think maybe women even deserve the right to vote, okay? But again, I also do think that Israel doesn't deserve to be nuked off the face of the planet like Hasan does. And thinking that Israel has a right to exist does not put me at odds with any progressive beliefs that I have.
really reconsider my output here. I wonder why a lot of these people are saying
And
this. In the
and
most narcissistic
same with Ethan. Same with Ethan. That's the whole point that I was trying to make. I wasn't trying to just talk about myself there. Um, it goes the same goes for Ethan. You can have progressive beliefs and also think that Israel shouldn't be bombed to Kingdom Come.
ways possible. You just looked to blame others instead of saying, hey, maybe my output here is the reason why people are reacting to what I'm saying in the way that they're reacting to it. You're like, nah, it must be something different. You said you hid your power level to infiltrate his fan base and turn them against him. Guys clearly lost the plot. Yeah, that's such an insane take, man. No, dog, you actually made your fan base very progressive. And it's, I mean, yeah, it's basically this. The entire quote unquote content nuke is
You're
this.
also kind of borderline teetering on what would most people say is socialism, my guy. Like,
wait, what? Let me tell you something about myself then. yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't think that the capitalist organization of the economy is adequate. We don't need to have that conversation. But yes,
no, it's no way you believe in that. Hey,
socialism is not a poverty cult. You don't have to be poor to be socialist, even though you can still advocate.
Yeah, you don't have to be poor to be a socialist. Exhibit A. Fucking Hasan Piker over here. $2 million mansion Andy. Sports car Andy. Freaking designer clothing Andy Hasan Piker. Yeah, it's you are the example of not needing to be poor to be a socialist. You only need to be poor to be a victim of socialism. Let's be honest.
For those who are less fortunate than you. The question that is on everyone's minds is like, there's two things here. There's two outcomes of this. Either you are the dumbest person on the planet and just like, whenever I described my political worldview, it just like went in from one ear and out the other. No bus stop in there. Okay, no pit stops in there whatsoever. It was just like information coming in and out.
The guy on the podcast literally told you that you are doing a good job at hiding your power level to funnel people into the left-wing pipeline, and you didn't disagree. You didn't say no, I am a forward-facing socialist. And here's the thing. Gonna bring up myself again. Look at me, the narcissist YouTuber. But that's why I liked Hasan. Was that I thought he had somewhat reasonable takes. There were some takes that he had that I thought were a bit too radical, but I thought for the most part he had some pretty reasonable takes. And mind you, this was literally like 3 months after I was watching like John Doyle and Steven Crowder, okay? I was not very far removed from very far right content on YouTube at this point. So me thinking Hasan has reasonable takes isn't just me being a crazy leftist. That is just me. That is just me genuinely thinking he has reasonable takes. At least that's what I thought back then. Now if I watched it, maybe, I don't know. If I watched it now, I might not. I don't know. Because I also wasn't as politically informed as I am now. Not to say I am politically informed now, but I'm slightly more now than I was before.
Coming in and out, okay? Nothing in there. An empty hallway, all right? And you're like, I thought you were like a, kind of progressive, vote blue no matter who type Democrat. What is going on? And if that's the case, then you have no business doing political commentary. Because what the fuck are you saying? Like, what do you mean? Then you're just like ill-equipped to have this conversation. You've openly demonstrated that.
I consider myself a liberal, but in the American political lexicon, I guess like I'm super liberal. That's what Americans think liberalism is. Like the more left you are, the more liberal you are. Even though there is a genuine distinction between a leftist and a liberal, but yeah, I'm progressive. I guess that's the catch-all term.
I like progressive. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be progressive? It's in the name.
You literally called yourself a liberal right there.
Yeah, we're progressing.
Yeah, well, that's why like early stage classical liberals who like wanted to rebrand, like Dave Rubin, for example, who now are very openly on the right and like everyone knows it. They originally tried to say like they're the real progressives, and that the people who brand themselves as progressives, people like myself, they were actually regressive.
George Soros and Google. He wears jackets that say fascist.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop again. What is wrong with hating fascists? I just
True.
don't understand that point. Yeah, I mean, aren't we supposed to hate fascists?
Has a club in his hand.
We're supposed to hate fascists as Americans.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. And then they'll say like Antifa is the real
This is not in his content nuke, chatters. This is just our first ever on-camera conversation. The reason why I suspect someone spliced these two things together is because they wanted to show how fraudulent and how idiotic this is for Ethan to be like, I was duped. I was groomed into believing radical politics by this big scary man.
No, you literally called yourself liberal in the clip. You're just choosing not to acknowledge it because you're a fucking moron.
And when even before we had a podcast together, I never sheltered him from my true opinion. I even say it there. I'm like, I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, but in American politics, because people's false understanding of liberalism, they would say I'm a super liberal. So what's really interesting about this entire...
So just say you should have cleared the air, and if you were being honest, you should have said, you know, in American politics, people view things, people just see the further left you go, the more liberal you are, but that's actually not true. You've got liberals and then you've got leftists. I am a leftist. That's what you should have said. But because you didn't say that, you know, you're still calling yourself a liberal. And you said there's a distinction between a liberal and a leftist, but I'm still super liberal. That's what you said. Those are your words. And yet we're supposed to believe that you were an open freaking little red book munching communist from the start. No. You literally called yourself a liberal in that clip.
Process, despite the fact that I have a literal like Lenin bust behind me, a Che Guevara bust, and a USSR Ushanka behind me, and also prominently display other famous leftist political figures, revolutionary political figures, and also Bernie Sanders, who is himself a socialist, and go through the minutia and the process of explaining to him over and over again what my political worldview looks like. He just, I guess, either A, forgot what that conversation looked like and how that took place, or B, a second thing, and is cynically trying to present it as though I was secretly hiding the truth, okay? I was secretly hiding the truth.
Yes.
Okay, then still bashing the fascists in that circumstance is still good, no? Like, I don't get it.
I thought fascism was like the antithesis of everything America stood for.
Yeah.
But apparently
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Okay, I'll try not to pause, but it's just
It is back. They tasted the blood of 1.5 million Christian Armenians, and they'll taste man flesh again.
I think he said he thought you were a Demsock like him. First of all, he's not a democratic socialist. Ethan is barely a social democrat, okay? What are you talking about? There's a distinction between democratic socialism and social democracy.
Wait, what? There is? Wait, Wait, so there's a difference between social democrat and democratic socialist. This is why I don't like politics, dude. This is why I think politics is the dumbest thing on the planet. Because what do you mean there's a difference between social democrat and democratic socialist? I'm not going to look up the distinction right now because it's almost 1:30 in the morning, but that's just insane.
The social democracy is pro-capitalist.
All this jargon.
Will openly state that in a place like the United States of America, there's a reactionary shithole where there's no class consciousness whatsoever, that social democrats are seen as radicals in this country, okay? And they're still in line with improving the material conditions of the working class in the United States of America. You told Ethan multiple
check out
times
me
that you wish you
hitting
hate being
that
a socialist.
Mariah Carey.
That's the other problem. That's the other issue. I've told him before, but that's not my problem. I'm sorry, man. If you don't understand the difference between a democratic socialist and a social democrat, how the fuck is that my fault, dude? I've explained it before. Like, what are we doing here? Dude, I'm sorry. In the year 2025, we're not doing that. In the year 2025, we're not gonna let other people's misunderstandings become everybody else's problem, because that's ridiculous. Why so scared? Do I look scared? What are you talking about? You won't watch the video? Brother, instead of demanding I watch the video, demand Ethan talk to me in person, okay? Because if you think I'm fearful of Ethan Klein.
Dude, here's the thing. So here's the reason why Hasan wants to talk to these people in person instead of watching their videos. Because if he watches their videos, he has to eventually let them talk. But if he's talking to them in person, he can keep interrupting them and keep cherry picking things that they're saying so that he can sway the narrative to the way that he wants to. Like what he did with Willie Mack. He didn't watch his video. He asked him, I don't know how Willie got on Hasan's stream. I don't know if he asked Hasan if he could go on or Hasan asked him, but Willie ended up on Hasan's stream, and all Hasan did was cherry pick and interrupt and deflect the points that Willie was making. And he's gonna do the same with Ethan if Ethan talks to him. So that's why I don't think Ethan should talk to him.
I think Ethan should, you know, stand by his video and say, I did, or I made all the points that I would make in a one-on-one conversation in this video. Watch the video if you're not a coward. If you don't want to like interrupt me, if you want to be good faith, then watch the video. And he's not going to do it because he's scared. He's scared that people are going to realize that what he's doing is extremely insane and dishonest.
And his political prowess, I'm here to tell you I'm not, okay? Go tell Ethan to have a conversation with me, okay? Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Why? Why can't he have a conversation with me? Why? Is it perhaps easier to clip things that I'm saying out of context in my reaction? Is that why? So that he can shelter his audience? Is that the reason why?
No, it's because you're going to interrupt him.
Because I think it's the second thing. Just like he was too scared to talk to Sam Cedar in private. To go into a debate about something, you should first watch the content, right? Or do you go into blind every debate? I go in blind. You want to know why? That's how confident I am in my worldview and in my knowledge in this space. Also, I'm not going in blind.
No, you are going in blind, you fucking idiot. You're going in blind because you didn't watch the fucking video. What do you mean? The debate is about the points Ethan made in the video. Of course you have to watch the video. And what do you mean because you're so confident? That confidence is greatly misplaced, clearly, because Willie Mack, someone who knows less about politics than Ethan, because at least Ethan has a personal connection to the Israel and Palestine conflict. Willie didn't have any personal connection to Israel, Palestine, or Ukraine. Even he destroyed you in a debate that you were unprepared for. And all he had was the points in his own video. Even with you interrupting him and deflecting and cherry picking, he still destroyed you in that debate. It's insane to think that you're so confident going into this debate. He's got to be so full of himself. Like, how much of a narcissist is this guy? Like, how much of a narcissist do you have to be? I'd be embarrassed to be this guy, honestly. Like, how could you, like, look yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm a good person. I make good content. I am in the right in this situation. I am not ashamed of every fiber of my being. I am totally not ashamed.
Let's be real. It's the exact same things I've addressed a million times over. It's not new nor unique.
All right, we got 5 freaking minutes left of this.
This is a very interesting thing that I've seen from people where they go, oh, dude, why don't you watch the video? Okay, why wouldn't you want me to just, like, debate the issues if the issues are related to me? You think I don't know the subject matter very...
The issues are in the video. They're in the video. That's where his evidence is, in the video. Oh my god. I don't know if I want to watch this anymore.
Well, I'm the subject matter. What is happening? Yeah, he can just argue the points in the video if he wants to, directly to my face, and we can have a conversation about that as well. The list of blogs made by Ethan Klein.
No.
Communism is on the rise. From Elon Nazi saluting at Trump's inauguration to the AFD in Germany, communism is clearly not on the rise. Hasan never introduced himself as a social democrat. Hasan talked about education programs, not re-education camps. Hasan never runs full defense of China, especially regarding their treatment.
Hasan talked about Okay, so let's try to go through these. Ethan claims communism is on the rise. From Elon Nazi saluting at Trump's inauguration to the AFD in Germany, communism is certainly not on the rise. It's on the rise in some places, and it's not on the rise in certain other places. Just because it's not on the rise in the Trump administration or in the AFD doesn't mean it's not on the rise, like, on the internet. You know what I mean? Hasan never introduced himself as a social democrat. I'd have to look back at that video to see if he introduced himself as a social democrat. He definitely called himself a liberal, as we just saw in this video. But Hasan tried saying, no, like, I didn't mean liberal, I meant leftist. But, like, you should have cleared the air about that. And, like, you know, educated people instead of using, like, the uneducated American terminology. Hasan talked about education programs, not re-education camps. No, he would be in favor of re-education camps. Let's be completely honest here. He would be in favor of rounding up right-wingers and putting them in camps until they say they've learned about the glories of communism or whatever. All right. Hasan has never run full defense for China, especially regarding the treatment of the Uyghurs. Let's see that. Let's see what he has to say.
The Uyghurs. Ethan shares an edited clip.
Oh, he doesn't have anything to say about that. No, he did. He did run full defense for China with their treatment of the Uyghurs. We saw that in Ethan's video, but Hasan would see that if he actually watched Ethan's video. But I think he's scared of seeing himself being wrong because he's a narcissist. But yeah, he literally said that that the Uyghurs were in re-education camps. Ethan shares an edited clip that cuts out where Hasan explains that he cannot control his chat from calling Ethan a racist or saying racist things. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, doesn't Hasan get pissy about people not wrangling their chats when they call him, like, names or, like, say things about him? Pretty sure that was in the Willy video. Ethan shows a random clip of someone being anti-Semitic and claims Hasan does not care about Israelis because of his lack of reaction. Oh, that was the guy who said that Ethan looked like a rapist. I think that was probably the weakest point in the video. Like, yeah, like, and I think in isolation, I think it's a weak point, but I think it serves to a greater narrative that Hasan keeps anti-Semites in good company and does not outwardly oppose them. So in turn, he invites their company in his chat, in his personal life, on his like platform. I think that was it. I don't think that in itself was the point. I think it was evidence to a greater point. But looking at it in isolation, it wasn't like a solid point on its own. But like I said, it serves a greater purpose.
The cuts out where Hasan explains that he cannot control his chat from calling Ethan a racist for saying racist.
Hold on. I'm just gonna read this stuff on my own. Hasan never justified sexual violence. He routinely says sexual violence most likely occurred on October 7th and regularly cites the UN investigation that had one credible documented instance of sexual violence. He says sexual violence that may have happened on October 7th is not a justification for genocide. No. He did justify the sexual violence. He said, I don't care if it happened. It doesn't matter to me. He literally said the sexual violence that occurred did not matter to him. So I don't know what that point is. Like, there are literal clips of him saying that. It was repeated like 20 times in the video. Hasan never said that Israel should, quote, let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained. The clip was immediately after this statement. Is Hasan saying they should democratically remove Netanyahu? But what kind of democratically are we talking here? Like, yeah, Netanyahu's probably a bad person. I would argue that, just off a hunch, most leaders of countries are bad people. But, Hasan, is a bit of a fan of authoritarianism. I think even if you're getting a bad person out of office, I think the people should do it truly democratically. But no, he said that Israel should have dissolved their government after October 7th and let Hamas in. That was literally in the clip, but okay. Ethan tries to attribute global anti-Semitism to Arab nations in 1948, ignoring the bare minimum last 10 years of historical context/analysis. What? Ethan tries to attribute global anti-Semitism to Arab nations in 1948, ignoring the bare minimum last 10 years of historical context/analysis. So, are they trying to say, like, anti-Semitism is justified? I don't want to say that. But, like, global anti-Semitism definitely isn't because of Arab nations, but Middle Eastern anti-Semitism, I would
argue is probably because of Arab nations. Because Arab nations are what the Middle East is made up of. You know? Ethan tries to frame a deranged Sneeko fan as a Hasan fan. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy who called who said Ethan looked like a rapist. Yeah, no, it looked like Hasan, or it looked like he was a Hasan fan. I don't know, man. Maybe you can be a fan of Sneeko and Hasan because they both have similar views on Israel. Hasan talks about how he curates the way he does content to make leftism more consumable for a wider audience. Ethan links this to hiding his power level, which is a term coined by 4chan Nazis. I don't know, man. It feels like making leftism more consumable for a wider audience would mean, you know, making it more digestible to a wider audience, which would mean hiding your power level. That's literally how it works. And term coined by 4chan Nazis, I don't really care who coined it. Actually, it was coined by Akira Toriyama in the Namek saga, when Vegeta was trying to hide his power level from Frieza. And that's kind of where it came from. If anything, I think he was probably making more of a reference to Dragon Ball Z than to 4chan Nazis. But even if he heard about it there, I don't really think that matters. Because who cares if you learned a term from 4chan Nazis? It's an accurate term to describe what he was doing. Ethan shows Hasan talking about how we should move towards... Oh, that it's Sweden, not Finland. Did I say Finland? Maybe. It was some, like, Eastern European, like, Scandinavian type thing. Sweden's more social democratic policies is proof of him being a social democrat and lying about his power level. I mean, yeah. Yeah. If he was being honest, he would say we need to move toward what the USSR was doing, because I'm pretty sure Hasan would agree with what the USSR was doing. Hasan talks about how right-wing talking points easily manipulate liberals. Ethan frames this as Hasan easily manipulating Ethan, a liberal. I don't remember this part of the video. And I've already addressed it here, but I'll say it again. Right-wingers and liberals can have similar beliefs on certain topics. It doesn't mean that the right-wingers were manipulating them. It doesn't make the liberals stupid. It just means that two people who generally have different political views can agree on one or two topics. It's not that rare. ExpressVPN is dog shit. Can't talk about that. Kaya's not a designer dog. She's a mix of Tibetan Mastiff, Chow Chow, and St. Bernard. I guess so. But again, I think that was more made as a smaller part of the greater point that he lives a lavish lifestyle, unlike the kind of lifestyle he wants his fans to live. Socialism, but leased a Porsche. Oh, so he leased it? I mean, again, if you're trying to be the socialist influencer, shouldn't you, at the very least, present yourself as a socialist? Shouldn't you not even entertain the idea of leasing a Porsche? Shouldn't you lease, like, a Camry or something? Like a regular person's car? Like, rent a Camry, like a Prius or something. Or a Corolla. There's a reason why I'm saying all Toyotas. And it's because I like Toyotas. I want a Toyota, man. I've been driving this Ford for over 2 years. And I just want to go back to that Toyota. Hasan has never said that all the bad shit the Houthis were doing toward women and LGBT people was good. Rather, speaks about how being genocided makes it infinitely harder to fight for social progress.
What? You're fighting for social progress within your own community, though. Not within, like, the community that's... Oh, sorry, I'm tired. Not the community that's genociding you. I feel like your community could agree to not kill gay people and, like, assault women, and that would be fine. And, like, you guys, like, they could have had that progress and, like, still be genocided, if that makes sense. Like, being victims of a genocide doesn't mean that it's justified to, like, kill gay people because it's harder to fight for social progress. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I was making a coherent point there. It's 1:40 in the morning for me right now. Hasan playing Houthi music video is not him endorsing terrorism against civilian populations. Yes, it is. He uncritically played that terrorist music video, also known as terrorist propaganda. Let's call it what it is. He played that terrorist propaganda on stream in full, uncritically, didn't say anything about it, except these are very musical people. They're very musically gifted, and said nothing critical about them. So, yes, he did endorse, in that way, endorsed terrorism against civilian populations. If you play terrorist propaganda and you don't call it out by saying, you know, this is a very, very, very bad thing that you shouldn't do, and this is evil, and I'm playing this because this is the kind of propaganda they have. If you're not doing that, then yes, you are endorsing them. Hasan explaining how Houthi pirates shutting down the Red Sea is not him endorsing terrorism against civilian populations. It was him being wrong about the whole thing, though. It was going in, like, the complete opposite direction of Israel. And he was pretending like the ship they were invading was going to Israel. And again, when he talks... Oh, excuse me. Again, so tired. But again, when he talks about these people, he talks about them with such, like, reverence and hype. Like, he's trying to hype these people up. Like, with his friend, he was trying to get him on their side. So he clearly is endorsing terrorism. Let it be known. I think that's the first time this stream I said it. I was saying it a lot in the other stream. But I think I was just hyped up. And I'm very much not. Yeah, I guess we could just speed through all this. Can we go at 2x speed? And go through all these points, because I read through all of them and I responded to all of them. I want to see if he has anything more to say.
Things. Yeah, that's another one of these fucking annoying little parts about this back and forth and this. Absolutely made up their own minds after listening to the way you talk about Gaza. He cuts out continuously. There's only so much I can do and leaves out. If you continue to say things.
He cuts out because there's only so much I can do and leaves out. If you continue to say things like this, people are gonna think you believe them and get mad at you. Well, he does believe the things that he's saying. He never said a genocide against the Palestinians is warranted or good or anything like that. It's just Hasan who has cultivated a fan base of absolute freaks who think that anything remotely positive to Israel is pro-genocide, which it's not.
Things like this, people are going to think you believe them and get mad at you. Yeah. And go on Twitch. Is that there are well-intentioned people that are
anti-American, anti-Semitic.
Okay. Looks like he's done with these points. Let's go back to point 1.5.
Is that there are well-intentioned people that are duped in this process. There are well-intentioned people that will get duped in this process. People who are just like kind-hearted liberals who are probably open-minded to the way I see the world, and if given the opportunity, would recognize that the things that I advocate for, they also agree to. But they'll see this video and go, "Oh, this guy's a dangerous, like, terrorist lover who loves terrorism. He wants to do terrorism."
Yes, you are.
There's not a single dissenting voice with his straight-up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic. pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic that is not normal.
All right, so, dude, this is such a bad faith video, dude. Like, yes, he does like some IRL stuff. He did some vlogging in Japan, where he went to a capybara restaurant and fed the capybara. That doesn't mean he doesn't support terrorism. You can do different things when you're a streamer. Crazy concept, I know, but political streamers can have different types of content sometimes.
Is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform?
What's he gonna say about
The
this?
funniest part about this is that, like, even though this is obviously awfully sourced slop, which basically rehashes the same fake drama that Redditors have mostly clipped out of context, very dedicated Reddit community comprised of
Oh, clipped out of context. I think that's a bingo, by the way.
a sex pestiny cult leader who has his own personal bone to pick with me. Okay, just watch videos that are people reacting to it. I am not going to watch the video. I will, however, talk to Ethan directly if he wants my attention that bad. I know that you want me to watch the video. I know that he really wants me to watch.
Yeah, because all his points are in the fucking video. And you're just going to interrupt him when you talk in person or on the phone or whatever. Oh my god. I genuinely do not like this person. This guy's just insane.
The video, but I'll just debate him. If he wants to have this conversation, we can have it. Oh, and he said nobody knows where these guys are. Oh yeah, they recently released the crew of the Seas cargo ship Galaxy Leader after the ceasefire was implemented.
Hey, that's good. But during your coverage of the whole thing, they didn't know, and you were still supporting the Houthis who had these people captive.
So the idea that nobody knows where these guys are is also silly. Once again, this is just such bad, like, it's slop. This is what slop is, okay? When you don't actually do your due diligence and you literally just like stamp all of this nonsense that you found on subreddits that are obviously geared in a very specific direction, and you just don't even Google something. Like, this isn't meticulous research, dude. Like, what are we doing? How is this like,
Him calling out Ethan for not doing basic research. By the way, guys, I'm not gonna watch his video.
Why do you have to watch a video of yourself when you said and did whatever you were supposed to watch? You don't understand. It's because these guys want to make clips. That's it. They want to make more clips. That's pretty much the reason.
Okay, that's it, dude. I am not a Christian. I said this on Monday's stream. I am no longer a Christian, but please, God, if you're up there, please don't let there be any more drama for this before, like, Sunday. So I don't have to stay up until 2 in the morning doing a stream about this. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know how much. I don't know how much more I can handle this Hasan thing, you guys. I really don't know. I cannot stand, just at the bare minimum, this guy's voice, and then his like absolutely insane takes. But that's gonna be it for this stream. I've got to go to bed. I gotta play Bloons Tower Defense 6 on my Steam Deck before I go to bed. And I'll see you guys when I do my next video or my next stream. I might do my next stream tomorrow night. I might just play some Fortnite. Who knows?